So for this session, we're hoping to focus on Know to Act, or K2A as I will be referring to it during the presentation, just giving an overview of what it is and a little bit about the product specific, so different kinds of users, the value of using it integrated with Oscar, etc. So if you can confirm that you can see my screen, that would be wonderful. It's been a little bit. All right, so that should be much better. All right, so Know to Act was inspired by the previously existing MyDrugRep technology. We looked at MyDrugRep and realized that the model that it had used for providing interaction guidelines and some medication guidelines could actually be extended to be beyond just drug warnings, but actually take into effect general content and information and make it available at the point of care if it was specific to the patient's context, so that clinicians would have the most up-to-date evidence-informed tools at the point of care within their EMR system. And what we really want to see is knowledge translation agencies such as, Cancer Care Ontario and some of the other agencies that are out there with the mandate of disseminating evidence to clinicians utilize this so that they're not depending on EMR upgrades, perhaps, to get their latest evidence in. So Know to Act is a clinical decision support service, and as I said, it facilitates context-specific information into the EMR, and that information ranges from general practice guidelines to better e-form management, and I'll go through the integration with Oscar. And this is, Jay will be able to show this shortly when we actually switch over to the demo part of this presentation. So the integration with Oscar has been, we've worked a lot to really make this meaningful at the point of care. So currently, one of the areas that we've enhanced is e-form management and organization. So the end user has now the ability through Oscar to organize e-forms more effectively, and also to comment and rate e-forms. So actually have a dialogue around what has been posted, so that other individuals within their personal network or within their clinical network can find value in the same information that the user is finding value in. Users also have the ability to promote e-forms into their trusted sources based on ratings or even just anecdotal practice information. There is the ability to now organize and share knowledge a little bit better. So previously, MyDrugRep was very much drug-centric, and we have enhanced that to be encompassing of best practice guidelines, general clinic decision support, and really work to matching it with patient algorithms that are existing within Oscar, so that only appropriate clinical decision support is being presented to the clinician. There is the ability to now send notices and bulletins into members of your network and, like I said, share intelligent tools which might consist of diagnostic calculators and pathways, and then just overall strengthen the quality of care. So there has been a mandate to really improve not just the evidence clinicians rely on to be utilized at the point of care, but really have consistency within the team of the practice guidelines being used as opposed to physician specific. And then we've also enhanced the ability to organize queries and reports by template within Know2Act. So now most of the reports that used to previously, reporting templates that used to be previously stored in OSCAR can be collaborated with by storing within K2A, so that a query that might have been written elsewhere can be centrally managed, as opposed to duplicating efforts, which we have seen, a few clinics do because they're not aware of the various queries that are out there. So for K2A, there are 3 different types of accounts. There's a general account, which is intended for the individual clinician. There's a shared account that is intended for a full clinic or institution. And then there is a channel account, which is intended for anyone interested in knowledge dissemination. And primarily, we are looking at the knowledge translation agencies to be channel users. But as OSCAR service providers, this can also provide a new way to organize your client base and be able to send information like bulletins to them, so that it reaches them where it's valuable most, and that's within their EMR. So there are 2 ways to create a general K2A account. One way is through know2act.org, so and Jay will show this when we switch over to the demo, but if you were to visit know2act.org, there is a register module that's available right on the homepage. Or if you are within OSCAR and don't have a Know2Act account, you can click on K2A and it'll actually present you with the ability to register for an account. And then the second part is how to link a K2A general account to OSCAR. So if the account is created on know2act.org, it is very similar, where you would log into OSCAR, click on K2A, and enter in the credentials that you had created for your account. And if you created the credentials from within OSCAR, it's already linked. And creating a K2A channel. So currently, channels will need to be created by the Know2Act team, and you can email the email address for a channel account if you were interested in getting one. And as I had mentioned, the benefits of having a channel account is really to enhance the management of e-forms, improve dissemination of guidelines and general knowledge, and it could be various diagnostic calculators, etc. And then also have analytics on where your content is being used the most. So it really gives you an overview of your following and who's using what, just so as a knowledge translation organization or entity or user, you can focus on sort of engaging your audience based on what is resonating most with them. So we already have 3 channels that a user can follow, and we are encouraging that all users follow either OSCAR EMR Ontario and OSCAR EMR BC, along with the general OSCAR EMR. And OSCAR EMR Ontario and BC will ensure that the end user is most up to date on their immunization and prevention schedules for the province. And they can stay current without needing to upgrade their OSCAR software. So what I will do now is I'll switch the presenter over to Jay, and he can give you an overview of what K2A looks like.
Okay, is my screen showing now?
Yes.
So I'll first log in as provider that doesn't have K2A, I can click on the K2A link. But you can't see that window, can you? Which will pop me up this window where I can either log in or create a new account. And doing that, then that will link this account, Oscar and K2A. Now, you can see the window again, right? So I'll just log out and I'll use a user that's already configured for K2A. Oscar doc. And here I can see that there's no notifications from K2A. If I go into
Jay.
Yes. Yes.
It's Peter here. I'm sorry. On my demo system for 15, I don't have that K2A link. Is there a special?
In administration, the first step to do with K2A is you go to integration and then K2A configuration here. This screen will say it's already active in the system, but it'll say enable K2A in the system and ask you for what the clinic name is.
So there'll be
the clinic name that you
K2A, yes. Okay.
And then you put the clinic name in there. This is what will be presented when you log in, saying you're giving access to whatever you put in that box to any user in your system.
Okay.
And then once you have that enabled, you should see the K2A in the appointment screen.
Okay. Thank you.
Jay, it's Peter. Just quick question. Any support for 12 at all?
Not in this. For, like, you can still, K2A is backwards compatible with MyDrugRef, so all the RX prompts and the decision support guidelines still work, but not the OAuth connection.
Thank you.
So that's going through the administration. That'll bring this K2A link up. That's where you can log in. Right now, I'm already logged in, so it'll bring me to notifications for Note Act. If I wasn't, I would get a login screen. In the dashboard view, you get to see K2A posts. So this would be anyone that you're following, the latest from them. So you get up-to-date news on what's going on. I can agree or disagree with it right from here or comment. I can see the author who's posted it and when.
You're still showing the admin screen.
Oh, thanks. How do I get that back now? Is it back?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go that again. And this is the dashboard screen. You can see the posts coming in from people I'm following on the right-hand side. This is a diagnosis, guideline, a treatment. I can see David's been very busy lately. I can see who's posted it and the date. And these buttons will let me like, dislike, comment right inside of Oscar. In the chart, the decision support guidelines will show on the right-hand side. Obviously, I just updated right before this, and my Oscar is obviously missing something, but the decision supports will appear here. And if I'm prescribing the same as it would in Oscar 12 or Oscar 15, from my drug graph, they will appear on the right-hand side there too. A little slow. You can also see on the right-hand side, right now, that's the Medispan warnings. So the Medispan and the K2A warnings can live in the same space. We were there before. You still see? Okay, you can see the screen? No. To get updated guidelines for the prevention, it's in this K2A admin section. And you can see right now I'm using Prevention Rules Loaded 2000 Prevention A. I can see that there's a new one just posted today, Prevention Guidelines 2015, that I can load up. Now, if you log in, you won't see this one. I've just posted it private because I was testing it. The one from Oscar EMR, once you're following that channel, will show up, and that will be the real one. But anybody you're following that's posted prevention guidelines, you'll be able to see here and choose to run those rules. And there would be new rules each year. And you could follow the BC or the Ontario ones. So moving into actual NOTA-ACT, the channels are appearing here. To follow them, you can click on, say, Oscar BC and trust this user, and now I will get the Oscar BC content inside when I'm using Oscar. If I want to just explore and look for, say, diagnosis tools, so osteoporosis screen, I can see how this calculator works on the right-hand side. This translates into an e-form that will appear in Oscar. Oscar eSources, I can see e-forms. So BC Standard, I can go into here, see what this e-form actually looks like. And choose to, if I want it to be downloaded inside of Oscar. Can you see the admin screen still?
You're not presenting anymore.
Every time I open a new window, it seems to go away.
You're still not presenting. There you go.
Share screen. Can you see the whole window now?
You're on the admin screen.
Okay, admin screen. So in eForms, if I go to Manage eForm and Download, I can see eForms that I've selected in K2A. So I can see the BC standard output. If I want to download that into my system, I can just click Download. Now if I'm looking at other, can you see K2A right now?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to add this early pregnancy assessment unit referral, I can select for Oscar, and it gives me the list of all the Oscar systems I'm connected with. So I'll just add it to all clinics. And then if I go back into Oscar, everybody can still see the admin screen. Download, you can see that that third eForm will be there. So part of the attraction of the channel accounts is you can pre-select a whole bunch of e-forms that you find useful, and then when people trust them, they will see them in this form. So it'll be an easy way to download all the useful e-forms. Any questions on that? There's also report by templates. So you can share report by templates now from K2A, so you can post them here and then download them inside of reports, report by template, and download from K2A. So these will be just people that I'm trusting. You don't get any report that anyone has ever published. Under clinical tools, there's diagnosis, which are those e-forms that we had looked at before, treatments. These are available in OSCAR under the RX, so you can see the treatments, recommended treatments for a specific condition, guidelines. Those appear in the e-chart. Nutrition, I don't think these are appearing in OSCAR yet. Drug-related, those are the ones that appear in OSCAR RX. OSCAR resources, so e-form and report by template, those are available in the admin. And the patient education is just eDocs. How do you add a report by template to K2A? So in post, so that was, we were just in Explore, this is post. If I go to OSCAR resources and report by template, I can add the name and add the XML query in here. That's the same with e-forms. You can add e-forms in here. You can version the e-form once it's selected, upload multiple files. Add the images at the bottom here. E-form group if you want to add a bunch of e-forms that are all related to one another. Clinical tools, so each post type is a little bit different in posting. And drug-related, like interaction has 2 drugs, so I can add the Coumadin and allopurinol. This in the background will search for the ATC codes so that any version of Coumadin or apowarfarin or anything will be found as the same with allopurinol. Your network is where you can find other people to follow. So I can, David Chan, see his biography, you see that 210 people are trusting him, and that he's following or trusting 97. If you do become a channel user, you can send a notification, so I'll just send it to myself and showing test, and save, and then when I'm in OSCAR, I will see this message. On the home screen of K2A, it lists things that you have posted, things that your friends have posted, and then other things that have become recommended. Usually people that you're following also trust this content here. And these would appear on the dashboard of Oscar. So these ones on the right-hand side. Any questions?
Peter here. Where is this stored in the K2A configuration? Where in the schema is this stored?
The configuration to log in or the data?
The configuration to log in, because I'm still having trouble to logging in, even though I have an account. I screwed something up, and I want to see what's listed. And
it's in the app definitions table and app users.
Okay. Well, I have nothing in app definition. And you said you have to, so it should be an app user. Okay. And app user, I have nothing. That explains why it doesn't like me. So how do I reset that?
It sounds like it didn't initialize from the admin. You should have something in the app definition.
It gives me an error when I try to. So it's initialized. It's giving me that K2A link at the top, and it says if request parameter OAuth verifier equals null, need to request a token. And OAuth, basically, it's not getting the configuration. An exception occurred to processing JSP page OAuth 1 JSP at line 53, which is app 0 OAuth 1 config OAuth 1. I should probably do this offline.
Yes, just message me and we can figure it out.
Okay.
If there's no other questions, I'll hand it back to Anuba.
All right, wonderful. I don't have anything further to showcase from a screen sharing perspective. Yes. So I don't have anything further to demonstrate. But if there are further questions, I'd be happy to discuss them. I did get a question over Join Me specifically around the pricing structure. K2A is free for clinical users, so anyone can go and sign up. For a channel, there is a price associated with it, and that's more for the knowledge translation agencies that have a budget towards knowledge dissemination. And in terms of the PHR, we would love for clinicians to use the PHR on a trial price for the first 12 months and really evaluate the efficacy of it within their practices, because we do recognize all practices are different. And following that, we will be charging $40 per physician per month and $10 per allied health professional per month, and residents and admin staff actually get their accounts for free, because we do recognize that many many primary care teams will go through a bulk of residents every so often, and it would be great to include this as a learning opportunity for them. So those are the pricing structures for both.
So that's
So the trial.
But I mean, you're talking about what we used to call MyOscar, right? Is it we not? Or am I confused now?
Kindred PHR is an enhanced version of MyOscar. Yes.
So this would be the Kindred PHR interface, and so there's introductory. So there'll be introductory. So it's free as an introduction, and then after a year, it'll be $40 a month if you find it useful.
Yes.
Per physician, and 10 per allied health provider.
Yes.
Correct.
And just we will be circulating documentation following this, both from a user guide perspective, but also just a general informational document that everyone has a copy of for both PHR and K2A. And that at any time, if there are any specific technical questions or I guess business-related questions, both Jay and I are fairly responsive to them. So if you can send it to either one of us, we will get back to you. So we've got another couple of minutes. If there are any questions, I just got one regarding Kindred collecting clinic data and analyzing it. So any data that Kindred receives is for the patient. So Kindred's model is that the patient is the custodian of their health information, but they choose to store it on Kindred. We do not analyze any data without patient consent, but we also want you to keep in mind that when you give a patient information in Kindred, it would be no different than, say, for example, photocopying it and giving it to Kindred and giving it to a patient, because what is stored in Kindred is a copy of what has been shared from the clinic, not Kindred isn't looking into the clinical database. It's sending a copy of whatever the clinic thinks the patient needs to have. And once that data gets to Kindred, we do analyze information on an aggregate level to help product development, but we do not data mine for commercial use. So another question that just came in, is the PHR integration similar in OSCAR 12 from a standpoint of being able to send data and secure message? Yes, it is very similar. In OSCAR 12, I'll look towards Jay to speak more to the clinic app tool for configuring appointments, if that is also compatible with 12.
Yes, it's compatible with 12. The only thing that in the listing of the providers, in it's 15, you can see if they have a username already, and then 12, you can't. That's not available. One stipulation, though, is that you're running 12 build 574 or later if it's Java 7.
Peter, I just want to say I now have No2Act working on my demo 17 set. It works just fine. It was I made the error of not putting in the clinic name when I activated No2Act. I had to fix it by deleting the row in the app definition. Once I deleted the row, it allowed me to reactivate it, and I gave it a name this time, of course. And now I'm signing in with my username and password that I've had that we've had I previously obtained. Thank you. And no two posts show up just fine, thank you, in my dashboard. Excellent.
Wonderful. So just noting the time, we do have 15 minutes allocated to the rest of this session. If there is something you would like us to focus on, or we can proceed to conclude the formal training session now and sort of utilize email and or other modes of communication for any specific questions that might arise as you start to explore the connections with your demo systems, and even as you start to explore K2A and PHR standalone.